Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video here on the channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why I think Seabound is Ninjago's best season. Now, I may be a bit biased toward it because it is also my favorite season, and I think a lot of people can agree with this. But without further ado, let's get started. The first thing that I think really makes this a really good season is the storyline. It is beautifully written and it has a storyline that is super compelling, and you always want to know what happens next, what's going to happen in the next episode to this character, what's going to happen in this situation. It was really enthralling to watch, and it was a really exciting ride through the whole season. In this story, we also saw great focus and character development on Nia, which makes sense because the season was a Nia season, but still, she hadn't really gotten any character development in the past, and this was like the first time that a season was officially about Nia, because before it was just like speculation about like season 5 and season 6. Season 6 is definitely a J season, but in season 6, Nia did have like a secondary focus, and as well as season 5, where she had more of like the main focus, I would say, but nothing has really been confirmed. So it was nice for it to be solely focused on Nia and not just another character such as Kai in season 7. And she showed some great character development, especially with her relationship with Maya, which brings us into my next reason, which is callbacks to earlier seasons, especially more recent ones like season 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. I think the biggest ones were from the island in Master of the Mountain. Shintaro from Master of the Mountain returned for the first time, and it was just a small scene at the end of an episode, but it was beautifully done. And I thought that it was really cool to see Shintaro for the first time in a year. We also saw the island and the keepers return in this season, and that was also really cool to see. In the island, it had a much more darker tone, but in Seabound, the colors were kind of lightened up a bit. So if you looked at an image from the keepers from the island and then Seabound, you could definitely tell the difference. So I thought that was really cool. We also saw a lot of characters from Prime Empire return, just making small cameos, and we saw Nelson and Antonia return from season 11. And so this season was jam-packed with callbacks to earlier seasons like that. Even the villains, the Merlopians, were kind of like underwater snakes, and the snakes are a big theme with Ninjago. There have been countless villains, from the Hypno Bride to the Pyro Vipers. There are so many we could list off. So the Merlopians were actually a big callback to earlier seasons. In this season, we also saw a great side character, Benthomar. In each season, there's like a sort of a side character that gets a bit of focus in that season. This was definitely Benthomar. There was an entire episode dedicated to Benthomar, and I think that he's a really cool side character. And these side characters in seasons aren't always protagonists or good guys, if you will. But in this case, it was, and he had a really cool backstory. And I think that is something that is really great about modern Ninjago, is that Ninjago's characters nowadays are really expanding on like their backstory. And, you know, what are the motives to what they're doing, and that is what makes a story really great. Next is the sets. The sets for the season were phenomenal. The sets overall for this year of 2021 were just really, really great. From Legacy to the Island and Seabound, they were all just really great. I have yet to purchase any Seabound sets myself. I'm still saving up money, but I think all of the sets look really, really great, and the minifigures are really good. The suit designs in general for the ninja are really, really great. I think that they just really look really good overall. And I think no matter how good the quality of the season is, I think the sets will continue to shine in the future. And the last reason is that this season was a more mature season. A great example of a season that had a similar tone to this would be all 3 seasons from the Oni arc, Sons of Garmadon, Hunted, and March of the Oni. They were very much like a darker tone to them. Seabound didn't have like that same darker tone, but the finale especially had a much more mature theme, as we saw one character disappear temporarily. If you haven't seen the season, I'm not going to spoil much in this video, but I will say that that was a bit of a change, because starting with season 11, there were a bunch of changes, and one of those big changes was that it had a much more like childish or lighter tone that we hadn't seen since season 1, and it was very different from the very dark and mature tone that we had seen in March of the Oni previously. And in the finale of Seabound, going back to callbacks to earlier seasons, we literally saw at that character's funeral, if you will, every single side character ever introduced to Ninjago, all the way back from maybe even the pilots, I'm not sure, but at least season 1 all the way up to Seabound. And I thought that that was really, really cool, and I think that it really sums up Seabound as a season. So that pretty much wraps up this video talking about why I think Seabound is Ninjago's best season. If you agree or you just enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.